we're going to talk about condo communities close to Purdue University or condo communities in West Lafayette. It is a pretty big hole in the market here in the greater Lafayette area in general, and more specifically in West Lafayette. All of the developers figured that they could make more recurring revenue by holding apartments for rentals as opposed to condos for sale. So there have traditionally not been a lot of them, and none of these are particularly close to campus in that none of them are actually walking distance from campus, but they are all Purdue connected in one way or another. So let's dig in. We're going to start with the largest. Bring it up here. And we'll link all of this in the show notes afterwards, but you can see all of this information at thelafayettereal.com. And if you're interested in home here in the Lafayette area, go to the lafayettereal.com/YouTube and fill out the form and let me know how we can help you find home here in the greater Lafayette area. The first condo community I'd like to talk about is the Lindbergh Village subdivision in West Lafayette. Now, Lindbergh Village is directly west of West Lafayette. This is one of those neighborhoods that I was talking about that is in West Lafayette in that it has a West Lafayette mailing address, but it is not in the corporation limits of West Lafayette. So I'm just going to bring up the map here. Need to see which one looks better. Probably this one. So Lindbergh Village is, like I said, directly west of West Lafayette. So it's bordered on the north by 250 North, which is Cumberland Avenue, on the south by Lindbergh Road, and on the east by Klondike Road. The entrances are from the north and south. And let's zoom out here just a little bit, and we can see that Purdue University is kind of down over here in this quadrant, just over me, and here is Lindbergh Village. And let's get some directions. I always use Stewart Center at Purdue University as a good central place because at Purdue University, Stewart Center is kind of in the middle of the campus, north to south. Up to the north, you have the engineering campus, you have Armstrong, and of course you have Mackey up here. But then down to the south is where the ag campus is, the small animal hospital down here at the bottom. So I like using Stewart Center just as a great median location. And we can see here when we pull up the directions that Lindbergh Village is about 5 miles, 11 minutes. So it's a straight shot out over to the new 231 bypass on Cumberland, down to State Street and over. It's basically super quick. This bypass is a brand new 4-lane divided highway, super quick to get up and down. There are lots of roundabouts between here and here, so getting there quickly by car is pretty easy. And it is outside the C-Pass parking boundary, which is roughly around campus in this general vicinity here. So you can get a C-Pass, which means that you get a commuter pass, which includes parking lots down here on the south end of campus, down here at the Purdue Airport, or up north of the football stadium. But that means that once you get to those destinations, you either have to hoof quite a long way or hop on a bus. Now, if you are faculty and staff and you're eligible for either an A or a B pass, then of course you can park anywhere else that you would normally park with your A and B pass. But if you're a student, if you're an undergrad or a graduate student who is only eligible for a C commuter pass, then it's the north lots or the south lots. I talk a lot about public transit, our lack of, and I'm just going to swap to public transit. And right now the estimate puts us at 60 minutes. And this is one of the problems with City Bus here in the area. I'm going to switch to the map view. One of the problems with City Bus is their campus routes are really based around business hours and the daytime. So I'm going to change our departure time to tomorrow. I went the long way around here. Go tomorrow morning, mid-morning. And we'll see here it becomes a whole lot shorter. It's only 30 minutes. But here's the problem, and why this is probably not a great solution if the bus is your primary way of getting around. I have put the pin here in the middle of the neighborhood, but you have to walk about 17 minutes, the better part of a mile, 0.8 miles from the middle of the neighborhood out here to Klondike and Rosewood. That is quite a hike. This is a relatively large and busy roundabout. This is not a great place to catch the bus. I wish our public transit was better here in the Lafayette area. Unfortunately, it's just not. Lindbergh Village is a dual development neighborhood. Some of the neighborhoods that we're going to talk about are condos only. They're only condominiums, but this particular neighborhood is a larger neighborhood that consists of both single family and duplexes. And so in some cases, some condo buildings are traditional. When you think of condo, you think like a high rise, like a condo down in Miami sort of thing. Condos here are generally going to be connected homes, usually duplexes, sometimes quads. You will see some other configuration, but that is the bulk of them. They are in the Tippecanoe School Corporation. It is not West Lafayette Schools. And over the last year, the homes in Lindbergh Village have sold anywhere between $235,000 and $410,000. They've had a pretty good clip of sales. They've had 20 sold in the last 12 months, so not quite 2 a month, with an average sale price of $305,000 and an average time on market of just under 3 weeks. And right now, there is nothing for sale in Lindbergh Village. So I'd like to show you one more thing about Lindbergh, and that is the divide. So let's go back here. Let me put this back to full screen. So here we are. We're looking at Lindbergh. It's this green area here in the middle. So we can see it's a kind of a 4-lobed neighborhood. So north, these are the duplexes. These are the condos. South and west are all single family, as are the homes to the east. So you're really looking at this section here. A lot of these homes are available for rent. They are under sometimes property management companies, while individuals might own them in the greater Lafayette area. Chances are, even if you're dealing with a landlord, they've probably put their home under a property management company. On occasion, you can find somebody who will rent to you directly, but a lot of these are for rent already. So if you're looking to rent a condo, this is a good place to look. If you're looking to buy a condo, this is one of the few places that actually has condos in West Lafayette. So you just have to wait for one to become available. But that also means that when it becomes available, you got to be ready to go, which means you need to have your pre-approval and you need to have some idea of what it is you're looking for ahead of time. So that is Lindbergh Village. Large neighborhood directly west of West Lafayette, approximately 90 duplex buildings, which is about 180 actual homes, and another actually more than 113. It's closer to a little north of 300 single family homes. So that's Lindbergh Village. Anybody interested in that? If you are, send me a message here, or you can go to the LafayetteReal.com/YouTube and fill out the form, and let's talk. Our next condominium community here in West Lafayette is distinctly closer to campus, but that comes with some pretty big caveats. Going to get this open in a window so that we can take a look. How do I do that? Do it this way. Here we go. Camelback is a neighborhood that's really in the core of West Lafayette. It's just a little north of campus. It consists of 34 buildings and is a mix of duplexes and a handful of quads. So there are just under 100 condominiums available in Castle Ridge. Let's take a look at the map first, and then we'll delve into the details. So here it is. This is Northwestern Avenue. This is the road that Mackey and Ross-Ade are on. Here's Sagamore Parkway and all the shopping of West Lafayette. I'll zoom out a little bit and we can place, here's Walmart that we were just talking about the gas station at. Here's Ross-Ade down here next to my pretty face. It is really great and centrally located. Let's look at some directions. So again, I'm going to use Stewart Center. And if you go by car, it's 9 minutes, 2.6 miles. You could even walk it if you wanted to. 50 minutes, 2.3 miles. That's quite a long walk, but it's possible to do. You can bike it in 13 minutes. It's a very bikeable route. West Lafayette's done a pretty good job of bike routes through town, and it's certainly through the core parts of town, and you don't have to cross any major highways between here and campus. But then let's talk about public transit. And we're back to exactly what we were talking about before, where the bus stop is. So again, place the pin right in the middle of the neighborhood. And if we zoom in here, we can see all of the double driveways and the quad driveways here. You can see that there is a clubhouse with the pool, but it starts with a 5-minute, 0.2 of a mile walk to the bus stop, and then a 14-minute ride on the bus down to Stewart Center. However, you can get off anywhere else along campus. I'm using Stewart Center. So as far as public transit is concerned, this is the condo community that's really the most centrally located. You can use city bus, you can bike, you can walk. You can certainly walk to shopping here in West Lafayette. We can see right here, here's Fresh Time Market. This is a Indiana Midwest specialty grocery store. Right up here is Payless. That's definitely a big hike across a busy road, but it is not access controlled, but there are crossing signals here, so you can get across. But you can get a C-Pass. Believe it or not, it is outside of the C-Pass boundary. So if you are a faculty member, or if you're anybody Purdue connected who cannot get an A or a B pass, you can get a C pass and then drive in. But it seems almost silly to drive in the 1.5 miles to Mackey Arena to Ross-Ade Stadium parking lot and then take the bus from there. Seems like it'd make more sense just to take the bus all the way up from here. Now, here is the big caveat. If you're buying this condo as an investment and you want to be able to rent it now or in the future, you can't. This condominium HOA has rules in place that tightly restrict the percentage of rentals that are allowed in the neighborhood. It is capped at a percentage of the total homes, and I believe the total homes are 3. There is a waiting list that never, ever, ever moves, and they do indeed tightly restrict it and tightly enforce it. How do they do that? It's a good question. West Lafayette has a strict ordinance about no more than 3 unrelated people being able to live together in a single family home in R1, R1A, and a few other zonings. And they actually have a code enforcement team that goes out and enforces this. And there's actually an affidavit process that both the homeowner and the residents have to go through, and it is enforced. And apparently, and I don't live in the neighborhood, but from what I understand and what I've heard, that the neighborhood actually piggybacks on this enforcement process to keep rentals out of their neighborhood. And in the covenants, they actually use the word blood relative. So for instance, if you're an undergrad and you are a parent of an undergrad and you would like to invest and buy a condo for your Purdue student to live in, that's great. But if they want to have a roommate who pays them rent, they can't. And they have specific clauses, the HOA docs, that take care of things like you can't say I'm buying the groceries or I'm taking care of the utilities. It is a very tightly controlled HOA. They want to maintain their community character of being single family homes, which is not to say that they have to be families. Single family home is just the name that we use here for a home that is not an apartment, not a condo, that sort of thing. It's a dwelling unit that is designed for a person or a nuclear group of people to live in, and it's something that's actually strongly enforced here in this neighborhood. So I see this all the time with clients where a home pops up here on Camelback, and they're like, we don't go look at it. It's just not worth our time. You can't rent it. And what happens so often is somebody wants to buy it for their Purdue student and then hang on to it as an investment for the future, or they need that income from the additional roommates to live there to help make it financially viable. So it looks like a great choice from a location standpoint, And it absolutely, absolutely is. But unfortunately, it's just not tenable. There is currently one for sale, but it is pending, so it's not really for sale. Over the last 12 months, 7 have sold for about one every other month. Average sales price of about $247,000. People are getting 101% of their asking price, and they only last on the market for 3 days. These are in the West Lafayette School Corporation. So if you have students, if you have kindergarten through 12th grade students who you want to be in the West Lafayette School Corporation and you're interested in a condo, these can be a great investment for you. So that wraps up 2 condo neighborhoods here in the West Lafayette area. Let's move on to number 3. Castle Ridge is a condominium neighborhood just on the near north side of West Lafayette. It consists of approximately 34 buildings, a mix of duplexes with a handful of quads. So somewhere between 70 and 90, I believe, total homes available in Castle Ridge. There is currently one for sale, but again, it is pending, so it's not actually for sale. Over the last 12 months, 3 have sold, so not a lot, less than 100 homes in the neighborhood, so they turn over, but not that quickly. Average sales price of $238. They only last on the market about 3 days, and people are getting their asking price and more. But let's take a look at it on the map, then we can talk about some of the other details about Castle View. We get the map up here. All right, Castle View. As I said, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit to get us started here. Here's Sagamore Parkway, the main east-west corridor, commercial corridor through West Lafayette. Payless is over here. Here's Soldiers Home Road, which is one of the major north-south roads. Salisbury, which becomes Northwestern down here. So here's Purdue University down here at the bottom. So definitely not walkable or bikeable to Purdue University. Like I said, it is a rather small neighborhood of somewhere between 70 and 90 total homes in duplex and quadplex buildings. You can see it's one circle. And let's get some directions, shall we? Again, we'll go Stewart Center, flip this around, and we can see driving. It is 9 minutes, 3.7 miles, straight down Happy Hollow into the roundabout at River Road and back up. You can see that's a pretty quick shot to get there. You can't walk this one. I suppose you could bike it if you were a super biker, but let's look at transit. 20 minutes. And this one is a good mix of price and location versus transit, because I'm going to zoom in here and I want to show you. Here's the middle of the neighborhood, Westview Circle. You walk out here to the bus stop. So it's only walking approximately 0.1 miles and you're out there on the bus. And it's a straight shot down Soldiers Home Road and over, no bus changes or anything. Some of the other buses that we looked at had some stops and changes involved in there during the evening hours. Now, I will say on this one, on Happy Hollow, this route does not run on the weekends. However, one of the things about Purdue parking is that the A and B restrictions only exist between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday during class hours. So if you're a Purdue student, whether an undergrad, master's, or PhD student, and you need to come to campus on the weekend, then parking is not nearly the issue it is on the weekdays. So that is where it is located. We've been over, it's really close to everything. They do allow rentals. I believe the HOA in this condo community does require owner occupied. We need to look a little more deeply into that if you're interested in purchasing. If I remember correctly, it could be owner occupied, but you can have somebody renting from you while you're there. So this one makes a little more financial sense. So that is a rundown of 4 condominium communities here. That was a rundown of 3 condominium communities in West Lafayette, but I promised you 4. So here's the 4th one. Our 4th condominium community in West Lafayette is actually in Lafayette. And I'm going to talk about downtown Lafayette. Downtown Lafayette is actually as close and closer in most cases than several of the condominium communities in West Lafayette. Now, it is not a single condominium community, of course. There are lots of rentals to be had downtown. There are some larger buildings that were purpose-built that are newer, that are condominiums. There are some older homes that have been split up that are inside the downtown area that have been turned into rentals, and in some case you can purchase. But whether you're purchasing as a condominium or as a single family home, it is really at downtown Lafayette if you're looking to invest in a condominium in the greater Lafayette area. Let's take a look at the map to talk about what exactly it is that we're talking about. So here's what we're talking about by downtown Lafayette. We got the Wabash River on the west, Ferry Street on the north, South Street on the south, and 11th Street to the east. And we'll zoom out a little bit. Here's Purdue University. It is a super close walk or bike to get up to Purdue University. It is up a big hill. There's a big hill to get up here. But there is a pedestrian bridge, the John T. Myers pedestrian bridge that goes over the Wabash River right here. Lanzia and Tapawingo Park. Easy to get across the river. But Lafayette City Bus Hub is here on the northwest corner of the downtown area, and there are buses that run all through here. So hopping on a bus in downtown Lafayette and getting across to Purdue University is indeed super easy. And let's just look at those directions real quick just to prove my point. So again, we'll go Stewart Center, we'll flip this around, and driving 5 minutes, 1.6 miles. Transit 14 minutes. And again, I've just chosen a spot here in the middle of downtown, but there are bus lines that run all through here. And then you can walk it 32 minutes, only 1.4 miles. Again, pretty big hill to surmount up here, and bikeable in 12 minutes. Now you probably want to go down to a low gear. I think it's low gear. Not a biker. The gear where you spin your feet really fast to get up the hill. 12 minutes, 1.4 miles. So I think downtown Lafayette is a good choice if you're looking to invest in a condominium style home here in the greater Lafayette area. Right now in that boundary, there is only one for sale. And again, it is also pending. But in the last 12 months, 4 have sold. Average sales price of $382,000 at a 98% list to sale price. So when they come on the market, they sell and they get the price they're looking for. But it is a good alternative. So if you don't want to live in a neighborhood really far away from the university and you want to have that slightly more urban experience, you want to have walkable Main Street, there's lots of great restaurants, lots of great shopping to be had downtown, then it is, I think, a good viable solution that's worth looking at. And if you'd like to talk about that, send me a message at thelafayettereal.com/YouTube, and let's talk about downtown Lafayette, Castle View. What else do we talk about? West Castle View, Lindbergh Village, and Camelback. And let's see what we can do about finding you home here in the greater Lafayette area. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss a single video that we put out here on the channel.